Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Precious Metal Summit here in Zurich. And for the first time here, Banda Mining, and David Quinlivan, the Managing Director, wants to give us an insight into his terrific company. Welcome and good morning.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time. Very interesting company I found on your website and your presentation. It looks like that you are guys really on the path to go into production, but maybe you give us shortly a first little overview on the company, please.
Yeah, certainly. Banda is a company that's just emerged from administration. We've raised about just under $50 million so far, and we're fast-tracking our project into production. It's at the Davyhurst Gold Project, located about an hour and a half's drive north of Kalgoorlie in Western Australia, and we currently have a number of drill rigs working out there full-time to build our resource and reserve base.
Okay, fantastic. And you have already a resource base so far, what I saw, I think. And so what's going on there now? What have you done in 2019?
Yes, certainly. We have a resource base of just under 1.8 million ounces at the moment, and we're working on bringing 5 key parts of that resource base into the production schedule.
Fantastic. So production schedule, we always love to hear that because the world needs definitely more gold, more commodities. What is the game plan for that? What do you want to do?
Look, Banda is a company that has its own 1.2 million tonne processing plant.
That's already there?
That's already there, yes. So that's a big edge for us in the current dynamic in gold mining in Western Australia. We're probably the only junior developer, explorer developer that has its own gold mining plant at the moment. So we're looking at bringing that back into production in 2021 after we've designed and optimised a number of mines. We're currently looking at 5 key project areas and we're looking at bringing that back into production at a full 1.2 million tonne per annum processing rate with a view to producing around 100,000 ounces of gold per annum from 2021 onwards.
Okay, fantastic. And it sounds to me like that's open pit?
It is a combination of open pit and underground. So we have several open pits and several underground prospects as well.
Fantastic. How much money do you still need to make this all happen?
Well, we're currently working on a budget that is a resource drill-out budget and a reserve definition budget that will take us through to the end of 2020. We will then look to finalise our financing to get the mine back into production in the back half of 2020.
Fantastic. So you have done already a feasibility study on that, or is it currently in the process?
We have currently completed parts of the feasibility study. If you had a look at our website, you will have seen that we just announced a recent reserve feasibility study for the Siberia pits of Sand King and Missouri that currently have 210,000 ounces of reserve in them. We're currently working on building out that reserve base to around 500,000 ounces.
Fantastic, great. Can you give us already an orientation about, let's say, AIC, margins, what gold prices have you used for the calculations?
Look, we're working on around a $2,000 Australian gold price as our benchmark.
For you, it's fantastic.
It is fantastic. You know, the gold price has been sitting in the 2,100 to 2,200. We've also looked at downside optimisations down as low as around $1,800 an ounce. But we're working on a base case scenario of $2,000 an ounce at the moment. And our cost model indicates that we should be there somewhere around the $1,350 to $1,400 Australian on an all-in sustaining cost basis.
Fantastic. So that's a lovely, like almost 50% margin, I would say.
Look, it's probably around a $500 to $600 margin because we do have a big land portfolio and we will be requiring some capital to be spent on regional exploration program. So I think we'll be diverting some of our funds to that. But yes, certainly from an operating margin point of view, we're looking quite good at the moment.
Okay, fantastic. So let's say Capex estimated to really bring it up to 100,000 ounces. Can you say it already? I know it's a forward-looking statement, but maybe like what numbers we are talking approximately.
We don't have the full capital cost estimate at the moment. What we do have is we have a defined cost on an EPC basis to bring our processing production plant back online, and that's $8.5 million, which is a substantial reduction from the cost to build a new plant, say.
Absolutely.
So where you would be looking at sort of more than $100 million for a new processing plant and facility. We already have a substantial amount of infrastructure in that there's a 160-man camp. There's also a power line into the site. There's an extensive road network, tailings dam, and as I mentioned before, the processing plant. So all of that has taken away our need for capital on the infrastructure side of it. We've got one of the pits programmed out from a reserve and a mining schedule basis. We just need to complete it for the other resource projects that we're targeting.
Fantastic. So what's cash in the bank these days?
Currently we have just over 20 million cash in the bank with a further subscription that we have an EGM coming up for this Friday that should bring another $7.5 million into the bank.
Well, so you are well financed for that.
So we are well financed to go forward.
Fantastic. Yes. I love to hear that. No, that sounds like a real great game plan. Who are your major shareholders and what has management?
Look, the major shareholder is Hawke's Point out of London. They've been very, very supportive and have gone right through the DOCA process with us. And management have a good lick of shares in the game as well. So
how much approximately percentage-wise?
Hawke's Point have around 42%, so they are a large shareholder. As part of the agreements that we had with our creditors through the administration process, some of the major creditors have ended up with shares in the company. So we have GR Engineering Services at about 5-6%. The underground mining contracting company, a company called Pit and Portal, own about 6.5 to 7% of the company. And then there's a range of institutions. So there's the top of the list.
Yeah, and I mean, it shows also quite confidence because when the service provider turned their outstanding money, I would call it, into shares, it looks like that they saw something good, what they have serviced, right?
Oh, it's a well-known producing area in a great goldfield in the Eastern Goldfields region of Kalgoorlie, and all of the players there in those contractors and the engineering procurement services contract providers know the area well. They've worked in there. They've done a lot of work on the processing plants and mines in that area. So they see something in it as well.
Absolutely, fantastic. How is it with permitting? I assume as you are in a mining area and it is a restart of a mine, everything is well?
Yes, we have all our operations on granted mining leases. We will go through the process of re-establishing the permits that were in place for them to get going as part of the overall definitive study process.
Fantastic. Well, sounds like a super game plan. All the best for that 2020. Keep it going. And we look forward to see you then in production next time.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Much. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there was David Quinlivan, the Managing Director of Banda Mining. And yeah, you heard it, probably the next gold producer here in Australia. And as you know, the Australians have already 2,000 Aussie dollars as a gold price. So here with a production side of AIC of approximately 13 to 1400 Aussie dollars, that is fantastic. It's a nice margin, of course, on the one hand. On the other hand, the company is well cashed up with over 20 million in the bank, another 7.5 million coming in. So 8.5 million to spend to get that in production. I think it's a favorable situation the company is in, and I'm pretty sure they're going to make that. So check it out. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Zurich.